Hello and welcome to the Astro Vibe of the Week. My name is Shira. I am the founder of Abracadabra Astrology. I'm so happy to be here with you talking about the astrology in the second half of the month of May. And I'm filming this right after the new moon in Taurus. And the best way to work with the astrology is to look back first to understand what is the cycle that we're in, like where are we coming from? And from that place, we figure out where we want to go next. So on Saturday, 5/16, we had that new moon in Taurus. And on this new moon in Taurus, we also had Chiron aligning with Mars in the sign of Aries. So there was big fire energy and healing around our identity and our ability to self-express. Big connection to being able to love ourselves more deeply, like love who we are from the deepest place in our heart. And hopefully, you also had some like revelation or some awareness, some consciousness around how you can show up in the world as yourself authentically. Why? Because Chiron is the wounded healer. It is how we show up in the world and really how we give to the world from the experiences that we have had to overcome, and how those experiences that we've overcome have actually been like this life force energy that has given us new perception around our identity and around the stories that we tell ourselves and each other. And ideally, through this energy that happened on the new moon, you are now watching this on the other side with just a little more love for yourself and who you are and who you choose to be around, like your relationships, your connections, and your connection to the yin and the yang inside of you. Mars is yang energy. It is the doing energy. It's the action taking energy. Venus is the yin energy. It's the resting and receptive. So Taurus ruled by Venus and Aries, remember Chiron and Aries with Mars, Aries ruled by Mars. So we're coming out of a healing opportunity. We're on the other side of a healing opportunity around our energy, our yin and our yang, our masculine and our feminine, our Mars and our Venus. And what's interesting on an even deeper level is that now, as we shift into the second half of May, we have a total change of where Mars and Venus are in the aspects, like in the transiting astrology. So, what intentions did you put in at the start of the new moon cycle that happened on Saturday? What were you choosing to connect to? What were you choosing to believe? How are you showing up in your life and in relationship to yourself and your heart and your relationship to rest? Now, if you want to go deeper into that topic, watch last week's Astro Vibe of the Week. So the week on the Taurus new moon. Because there's a big recalibration of energy happening. And as we go into the next week, so the 19th, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24, 25, all the way up to the Sagittarius full moon, we have a totally different shift of energy again. So the last week was not a shift of energy, but it was an integration opportunity and an opportunity to heal and reconnect with what rest and recalibration, sacredness, the body, your connection to nature, your gratitude for the earth element and how that shows up in your life. And now we're going into changing of energy. I'm going to share my screen for the week of the 20th, and we'll talk about all the changes that are taking place and how to make the most out of it. And definitely stay tuned for what signs are going to be the most impacted and how those signs can work with this energy. So the first thing I want to bring your awareness to, I have this set for May 20th, is that on May 20th, the sun will be at 29 degrees Taurus. So this is the last day of Taurus season. It's the anaretic degree, and it's when we're coming to a completion of the cycle of the sun's journey through each degree point, one day at a time, through one sign. So we have had the last 30 days up to the 20th of May to connect to our relationship to the Taurus themes. So our relationship to Earth, our relationship to femininity, to Yin, that Venusian energy, our relationship to our finances, because Venus is also finances, our relationship to our values and how we live in alignment, in coherence, in congruence with our values, with what we want. Some people say they want one thing, but then they do another. I think that's a lot of us. We have these like dualistic qualities. And the journey of the human spirit and the journey into mastery is having acceptance for the shadow part of you that maybe falls off course of your values and the congruency with your values that can bring softness and loving compassion, that mother energy in, and then stepping back into your truth, back into alignment with your values. Now, the reason that I say that is because as we have journeyed through Taurus, no sign is a standalone. No sign is just that sign. There's always an axis point. There's always 2 points between the signs and two energies that are cultivated. So the opposite of Taurus is Scorpio. And Scorpio is our inner power and our sense of truth, the deepest truth, our deepest, most honest part, and also our relationship and like understanding of our shadow aspects and our ability to have compassion for our shadow aspects, for the part of ourselves that is a little bit more fearful or a little bit more um, judgy or separate or critical, whatever it is. The balance between Scorpio and Taurus is like the deep intensity of being a human, the shadow of being a human, balanced with Taurus, like the deep, simple connection to the physical world, to feeling safe, to feeling in our body, to being able to express your throat, right? Taurus rules the throat, self-expression. Scorpio is your genitals. It is how you create life. It is life and death. So we've been exploring the balance of these two themes, simplicity and intensity, life and death, self-expression versus ways that we might suppress, how we are connected to nature, Taurus and Scorpio, and how we're connected to our power. And now, as we get into this new week on May 20th, Mars, which was in Aries, which Aries is about the self. Aries is ruled by Mars, so it's like fast, frequency, go, go, go. It's also a lot of time pressure, I would say, Aries, like feeling like you want to be ahead and you're not ahead enough and you're trying to race forward and compete. That would be the shadow side. The light side of Aries is your 100% authentic, 100% following your truth. Now, Mars on the 20th is going to shift into 0 degrees Taurus. Okay, so let's pause for a moment. And why? Like, why does that matter? We just had the sun for 30 days in Taurus, where we were having an experience of Taurean themes, slow, material realm, pleasure, food, earth, flowers, beauty, music, Venus, femininity. And on the 21st, the sun will shift into Gemini, totally changing the energy from that slow to more mental, faster frequency, more about the mind, but also the mind as a space of downloads and connection to the quantum field. I'll talk about that in a moment. But on the 20th, Mars shifts into Taurus. Mars was in Aries, right? So Mars, we had that big stellium that like we remember we had like 6 planets in Aries and it was like, whoa, totally new beginning, big changes. So we have entered this new realm, but now Mars changes into Taurus, and the planet of moving forward now is in the element of Earth. It was in the element of fire where we can just burn the F out, right? Where we can go so fast that we just get depleted, we get exhausted. We burn the candle at both ends. That's Mars and Aries. Burn the candle at both ends. You don't know when to stop. There's nothing wrong with that. Sometimes that can be really, really fun. Sometimes it can be really, really dangerous. It can be extremely problematic. It can be like wars. It could also be really, really fun, really adventurous. But now Mars goes into Taurus, and the intentions that you set when the moon was new, and we had Mars and Chiron together, now you get to implement your intentions in a totally new way, in a more embodied and grounded pace. Mars in Aries is anything but grounded. Anything but grounded. It loves to be there. It's like fast and furious. But Mars in Taurus gets a totally new experience of being in the body as it takes action and as it slows down. So the guidance is to allow yourself to slow down. Allow yourself to slow down. That's number one. The rest of May, for the love of Goddess, allow yourself to go slow because the Taurus energy will not allow you to go faster than the pace of your soul. So, this Mars, your connection to your masculine energy, how you do things, can get a little bit more smooth, simple, step by step. So instead of doing everything everywhere all at once, that's Mars and Aries, super distracted, super chaotic, you do one thing at a time. One thing at a time. When you're washing the dishes, you're washing the dishes. When you are working, you're working. When you're driving, you're driving. One thing at a time. Now, for most of us, that is like near damn impossible. We have been like inundated in and programmed to do a million things at once and to be super distracted. And I guarantee you that if you set yourself up to do one thing at a time, well, Mars is in Taurus, and that's going to be all the way until, into June. If you can really slow it down and get connected with earth practices, so that's like slower movement, it's being in nature, it's cooking instead of ordering food. It's like being in relationship to the present moment. That's what I mean by one thing at a time. You are moment by moment in relationship to the present moment. You are connected and tuned in. Remember, Taurus and Scorpio on the same axis point. Scorpio wants to merge and connect. When you are connected, when you are present, you are merged with the present moment. That is when things flow and align. So the advice is to set yourself up so that you can be more present. That might mean that you're looking at your Instagram less. You're like not on social media as much. You're not looking at TikTok and Reels as much. You're not distracting yourself with things that don't serve a purpose. This is a really good time to drop into your why. What, with the actions that you're doing, what is the why of the actions that you're doing? What's the deeper purpose? What's the deeper why? That way, if you can really get connected to your deeper purpose and your deeper why, you can start to do things, take actions, be connected with the present moment in a way that has a fruitful quality, that has a seed planting quality, a blossoming quality. Aries starts a bunch of fires. Taurus plants a bunch of seeds. We just had a month of Taurus, but now that Mars enters Taurus at 0 degrees on the 20th, now we're planting new seeds. And those seeds aligned with that new moon are really going to take root. Make sure that you know when you're in that process that there's a purpose behind everything. There's an intention behind everything. The more intentional you can be with each moment and each day, the better you're going to feel. You're going to feel more connected. You're going to feel more tuned in. You're going to feel more dropped into nature. Maybe put reminders on your phone to take a couple deep breaths or to connect with your heart. There was a time in my life where I set an alarm every hour to do 1 minute of heart coherence meditation, one every hour. And that practice completely changed my life. So Taurus is what are the actions? What actions can you take that are going to help you become more present? What actions can you take that are going to help you become more present? That's what you want to lean into for the rest of May. What are the practices of presence that you have? What is the purpose of each act? Soon, we're going to have Chiron moving into Taurus later in the summer, and then we're going to have a deeper layer of how we can connect more with our bodies, with our breath, with practices that allow us to reset and to heal and to be regulated in our central nervous system. Now, Mars moves into Taurus on the 20th. The sun moves into Gemini on the 21st. And that means that the sun and Uranus are going to be aligned. This is going to be a big deal. So let's move forward to the 21st. Let's do one more forward, May 22nd. So on May 22nd, May 22nd, that's going to be Friday, May 22nd, we will have the Sun and Uranus at 1 degree Gemini. They will be in a harmonious trine. This long blue line is called a trine, and it's like a conversation or a connection with Pluto. This is a big deal. Uranus trining Pluto, this will be happening off and on for about 2 years. Yes, you heard that right. This will be happening for about 2 years. Now, the sun aligning with Uranus, this hasn't happened for like almost 100 years. This is a big deal. And I see this as a really positive aspect because Uranus is about change. It's about faster frequency. It's about transformation. It's about shaking out the old in order with the purpose of getting to clarity, with the purpose of getting to truth, with the purpose of evolving. Uranus is all about evolution. It is the planet that rules Aquarius. So Aquarius is like the collective. Aquarius is the future. Aquarius is all of these like technological advancements, but it's also the energy of authenticity and weirdness and uniqueness and strangeness. And right now, there is a amplification of that like weird, authentic power to the people, quirky, strange, out there, futuristic vibration into the field that we're all going to experience. And I have a feeling that it's going to bring really positive changes because we're getting out of the past. Remember, Taurus is the past. It's Earth. It is the old energy. Earth energy, and this is like no shame on Earth. Obviously, we lived here. We live on planet Earth. We love our Earth Mama. We love the mother. We love Pachamama. We love everything about being on the earth. Not everything, but you guys, we have French fries. How do you not love somewhere where you can eat French fries? I mean, come on. We have French fries, we have music, we have dancing, we have chocolate. We have French fries with salt and ketchup. I love French fries. But being on the earth also comes with so many, let's call them challenges. We're learning to be safe on the planet. We have problems with like financial inequality. There's instability. There are volcano eruptions and floods and tsunamis. And, it's wild being on this planet. And Uranus absolutely shakes things up and creates big changes and brings us shocking surprises sometimes. But a trine between the Sun and Uranus conjunction in Gemini and Pluto in the early degrees of Aquarius shows us that the shadow side of the collective energy is being cleared out. It's being shaken up. It's being electrically activated so that the frequency can change. It's like being electrocuted. That's what I'm getting. The shadow is getting electrocuted. What's been hidden is getting electrocuted. What is not serving, what is taking up from us, what is taking our power, it's getting shocked. There's a shock coming. And you'll want to know what you have in Gemini, Sagittarius, Virgo, and Pisces. So all of the mutable signs, and you'll want to know what you have in Aquarius, Leo, Scorpio, Taurus, all the fixed signs, right? The reason is because Aquarius, where Pluto is a fixed energy, and Gemini is a mutable energy. Now, any sign in all the fixed signs and all the mutable signs are going to be impacted in some way. For you guys, fixed and mutables, all of you, so again, Gemini, Sag, Virgo, Pisces, Aquarius, Leo, Scorpio, and Taurus, all of you, make sure that you are grounding because the amount of high frequency energy is going to be huge. It's going to be enormous. And it's going to be activating your chart in some way. Definitely look at between 1 and 10 degrees, mutable signs. And I would also say around 5 degrees fixed signs. We could even say between 1 and 10 fixed. So 1 and 10 mutable, 1 and 10 fixed. What do you have there? Because this is where there's a little bit of upheaval of the old, closure, clearing out for something totally brand new to take place. Like, wowza, a super brand new opportunity. And you want to be grounded for this. So you want to do your Taurus practices, your spiritual practices, your grounding practices. That means yoga, whether it's vinyasa or yin, taking your shoes off, getting your bare feet on the earth, breathing the earth energy up through the soles of your feet and up into the crown of your head and then back down again. Resting as much as you can, meditating to the best of your ability, whether it's 1 minute of breathing in with awareness at your heart, or whether it's an hour of sitting in silence. Whatever it is, fixed signs, mutable signs, become aware of your energy and your ability to ground yourself and balance yourself. I do believe this will be a really supportive time for everybody, especially for like our collective future, whatever is coming in the future. We're coming into a brand new cycle with this Sun and Uranus conjunction. Remember, the sun is the life force energy. It's prana. It gives life to everything. The sun gives life to everything. And then aligning with Uranus. Uranus is the highest frequency of, it's like galactic energy. Woof. Big deal, right? Being able to connect to the higher frequencies, getting downloads, receiving information, higher codes, hidden codes, faster frequencies. This is so quantum field magic. Anybody who's in abracadabra astrology, like you have been set up for such success in doing the quantum field practices, going into heart coherence, becoming nothing. That is what the Sun and Uranus is all about, because from that place, you're going to be so set up to manifest and call in and get into the frequency and the vibration of wholeness and what you want in the future. If that's new to you and you're like, Shira, what are you talking about? Check out our free school, Abracadabra Astrology Community. It's totally free. And you'll start to get a little bit of an idea of it. But the real work happens when you are doing quantum field work, which takes practice and you've got to have the right tools. So huge shifts coming at the end of May. Huge, 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 huge with this Uranus and Sun conjunction trining Pluto. Futuristic changes. The frequency is changing. New information is coming, galactic information is coming, and you want to make sure you're grounded. And then we're gearing up for a full moon on May 31st, and that full moon is in Sagittarius. So the sun goes into Gemini, right? Over the next 2 weeks, we're going to have Sun conjunct Uranus energy. big change, big revelation, big awareness, big expansion. Be open to it. Expect the unexpected. It's an exciting time and it's going to help us pull ourselves out of the past, the heaviness of the past. The lower three chakras, the frequencies of like fear or not enoughness, lack, separation. We're healing that with Uranus and the sun together. Amen. Give me an amen in the comments to this video if you are into healing that and coming into more connection and wholeness with Source. And we're gearing up for this 10 degrees Gemini sun and 10 degrees Sag moon that's happening on the 31st, which May 31st, so the last day of the month. This is a blue moon as well, a magical blue moon. A blue moon is when you have two full moons in 1 month. So remember in May, we had a full moon at the very start of May. I believe it was the first. And now we're going to have a full moon on the last day of May. And this full moon is so expansive, so expansive. Sagittarius is expansive energy. It is new ways of being and seeing the world. It is going beyond what we know. It is ruled by the planet Jupiter, which is wisdom, high wisdom, big blessings, the frequency of blessings, the frequency of wisdom, of seeing things differently, and of understanding how your beliefs, Sag is your beliefs create your reality. I think in the next 2 weeks, we're going to have an opportunity to get some downloads that's going to help us shift our beliefs, and that's going to help us shift into a different way of being in the world. Still ourselves, still in love with our hearts, still, in the deepest way, just us. You're still going to be you. You're going to be your unique you, but you're going to get it from another level. You're going to get it from a higher level of consciousness. Expect that in the next 2 weeks, you're going to get higher levels of consciousness downloaded. And if you do the practices that are going to support this kind of astrology, then June, come the end of June, especially, because we're also having Jupiter shift into Leo. We'll talk about that in the future. But, come the end of June, you're going to find that you have expanded your possibilities and you are receiving more than you believed you could receive before. You are receiving more that is aligned with you, with what you really want in your heart of hearts, than you could have comprehended before. You have expanded outside of the realm of the wounds and you've gone into pure potential connection with source and possibility. That is Sagittarius, Gemini, Uranus. It's going to be epic. It is going to be so freaking epic. So in the comments, what points or placements do you have in the fixed signs and the mutable signs? Because this is really where the energy is going to be showing up. This is where we want to stay grounded. We want to be dropped into our bodies because the fast frequency energy, like we have to integrate it. It has to be integrated in our day-to-day life. It can't just drop in and then we turn to dust. It's like, no, we're human beings in bodies. We still need to, eat to support our bodies, hydrate to support our bodies. We might need to rest more to integrate all these faster, higher frequencies. Whatever is coming through for you, like please honor your body. And if you're someone that doesn't like to move, you don't do movement practices or yoga or dancing or whatever, like this is the time to do those practices to begin that work because in order to ground these higher, faster frequencies, you need to be in right relationship with your physical body because everything starts from the physical body. Everything begins from the first house. Everything. The physical experience has to start with your body. I hope you enjoyed this TED Talk. That's all I'll say there. I will be on retreat, leading the Heart and Spirit Renewal Retreat, where we're going to do quantum physics meditation, get into the astrology of the current moment. We're going to surf, we're going to go sailing, watch baby sea turtles hatch. It's going to be so amazing. The last week of May. And then I will be going into a advanced 10-day meditation retreat, like a Vipassana, which is a silent 10-day meditation retreat, but it's going to be Joe Dispenza style, so quantum physics style. And you will not have a forecast and astrology video from me during that time because I am going to fully dive in there. And then that will be at the beginning of June. So it's going to be a while until you get the next video from me. I will miss you. I will be back, I promise, towards the end of June. And I will be celebrating the summer solstice with you, the transition into Cancer season, the transition of Jupiter into Leo. That's going to be a really, really big one for the fixed signs. I'm really excited for you guys. And I'll be back with deeper meditations, more practices, and more joy for this work. So I'll see you on the other side. Mwah. I love you, and let me know what comes up for you. Mwah.